So if you want to, um, yeah, so if you want to, so this is the page where you add, um, register a new user or add a member to your organization. So I think we already described that in the article or in the article where we introduced Feed Africa. So we already introduced that. So the main thing I want to start with now is whenever you come to under settings. So when you come to under settings, you go to roles and permissions. So when you go to roles and permissions, these are the roles I have created for my own organization. Now you can create as many roles as possible for your organization. So you know that it is these roles that you will put um, your employees so through. So each employee will have a role in your organization. So and then when they have a role, they will also have some responsibilities, and you can think of the responsibilities as permissions that you're giving them, what you want them to do within your organization. So that's what we call permissions now. So you can click on this, so you will be able to give it a name. So let me say web administrator. Let me just say web administrator. Then you can describe it. So then, so that's just the first part of it. Then now you will now add permissions. So you can see that we have names. That is, we have farm, inputs, input type, and so on and so forth under permissions. So including produce. So and row itself, row. Then season stage, you will understand most of these things by the time you start using the platform. So the most important thing is, so under farm now, you can you may want everyone that has this row, to be able to view farms. That is, they can view farm information about farms. Yeah, that is majorly farms that they belong anyways. Yeah, farm that they belong, the farm that you have added them. Because for example, my organization can have like 10 farms in this system. Now we can have like 10 farms that we have created because we have 10 farms in real life. Yeah, so I might add someone to just one of them. So one person that is working under me, maybe a farmer, can be associated with only one farm. So if the person just belongs to a farm, that means I will once I create the role now, and I've added the person to my business, to my organization rather. So then I will now go ahead to add that person to a particular farm. Yeah. So now, but let's just focus on roles and permissions for now. So now that person, now I want the person to be able to fill information about that farm that I have added them. So I will say, okay, let them be able to fill information about the farms. Then what else do I want them to do with the farm? Let them be able to edit some information. Let them be able to edit information about the farm. That means they can change the name a little bit, the name of the farm that I have created on the system. They can change it a little bit, and some other records. They can change the location. Yeah. So and so on and so forth. Then what else do I want them to do? Okay, I want them to be able to create a new farm. That means this particular row, anybody that has this particular row, I want that person to be able to create a farm within this system. That means they can create a farm. So if I say edit and delete, that means I want anybody that has this role to be able to delete a farm that they belong. Yeah, so to be able to delete a farm. So, and that's it. So once that is done, I will move to another item, inputs. So I want them to be able to, I want anybody with this role to be able to fill inputs, details of inputs, to be able to fill it. You will still see inputs, units, and everything later on. Then I want them to be able to edit the name and other information about an input. Then I want them to be able to create new inputs. Yeah, I want them to be able to create new inputs. That's what add stands for, or delete. I want them to be able to delete some inputs, to be able to delete inputs within the system. Yeah, I want them to be able to delete inputs. Then input type. So we would explain the meaning of input type in some other video, but just know that view, edit, add, delete is still functions the same way, and all of these things function under farm and input, including users. Do I want the role, anybody with this role, do I want them to be able to fill information of other users? Do I want them to be able to or do I want them to be able to edit the information of other users? Do I want them to be able to add new users into the system? Do I want them to be able to delete a user, to remove a user from my organization? Do I want them to then unit face reports? Reports means audio reports that's someone that has been deployed to go and inspect the farm. You get, so someone that has been deployed to go and inspect the farm. Do I want them to so that is what we call face reports. So do I want them to this part, anybody with this role, do I want them to be able to fill these reports, when they are under a particular farm? Do I want them to be able to fill reports? Do I want them to be able to edit reports? Do I want them to be able to create new reports? Do I want them to delete reports? And so on and so forth. Planting year season, this season is like you are creating a new season. That's what we call it. So it's like you are creating a new season. And when you create a new season, it's like you are creating a crop. There's no season without a crop that you are targeting. So you are planning around that crop for that particular period of time, which is season. Yeah. So do you want them to be able to fill seasons within that farm? Within the farm you have added them. Do you want either farm or cluster? You know that there are clusters within the system too. So majority of people will not use clusters. They will just focus on each farms. But for those that use clusters, all of these things also apply to them as well. So do I want them to fill all the seasons that are associated with the farms or the clusters that they belong? Do I want them to edit information of this season? Yeah. Do I want them to create a new season? Do I want them to be able to delete seasons? Yeah. So do I want them to input order, which will be explained in some other video? So all these things, input order, planting calendar, which the planting calendar is like activities. You know that in some other video we will explain that when we have the season, we have the season stage, then we have the activity. So this planting calendar is referring to activity. Yeah, it is referring to activity. So you are going to so do you want them to fill activities under that farm, the farm that they belong, or the cluster that they belong? Do you want them to fill activities there? Do you want them to edit information of an activity? Do you want them to create new activities? Do you want them to be able to delete activity? So season stage, as I said before, yeah, season stage, it's the same thing apply. Roles, the same thing apply. produce. Produce refers to all the plants or crops that you ever plant in any of your farms. So under settings, uh, you will be able to create as much produce as possible. So, but do you want anybody with this role to be able to view all produce? Do you want them to be able to edit the information of a produce, maybe change the name of the produce and so on? Do you want them to create new produce for your organization that they can just you can just wake up and they are able to, you will see that okay, a new produce has been added to your organization. You get that? Okay, maybe there was no yam within the list before, you now see yam. Okay, maybe you want to start planting yam maybe next year or in some other farm, yeah, that you just want to cultivate. So do you want them to be able to delete the information of a produce, so and so on and so forth? So you can add as many things as you want. You can add as many things as you want, and then once you are satisfied with all the permissions you have given them, you can now add. And now it has added. So just to confirm, if you go to the next page to view, you will see that we now have web administrator, and you can see that we have the description, and you can see that if we click on this, it will bring out this. That means you can delete it. You will see that it's just what we added, the permissions we added that you have. So if you like, you can say, okay, I want to edit the permission now. I don't want them to view input order. I don't want them to edit. I want to remove all the edits. Let me even remove all the edits. So this person is not able to do anything about edits. So that we just remove everything about it, and then we say update. Then he said it has updated. So when we click it, we will see that all those things are no longer there. And then when so that's it. So that's basically how it works. You have to be able to know roles very well for you to be able to roles and permissions, for you to be able to know how to use the system very, very well. Just look at role. Because you are an organization, you will have employees, and because you have employees will have some specific roles and responsibilities. So their roles comes with responsibilities. So since they have responsibilities, that means, and you want them to use the FeedAfrica ERP system to help you manage all these responsibilities, that means you are going to have to give them some level of access, you get, within the system, which is some permissions. So it is these permissions that will determine what they can and cannot do within the system. It is as simple as that. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.